Hey guys, how you doing? On the previous video we looked at a situation where we know the fight has started, we know the person wants to attack us and they're outside of our personal space. And instead of blocking, feinting, weaving, as soon as they come into our personal space, we immediately just attack our attacker. Similarly, if somebody is already inside a personal space and then the fight begins, as soon as it begins, we're just going to attack our attacker. What we're going to look at today is a situation where somebody's in a personal space, but there's ambiguity as to whether the fight has started or not. The risk is that we're going to get hit with a sucker punch. So if somebody's squaring up to us a little bit, instead of us having our classical man sound, woo sound, we just change it a little bit, so more of a combative's guard. And what we want to do is we want to create our personal boundaries and we want to maintain our personal boundaries like this. One option that we have to maintain our personal boundaries without hurting the other person is just a double palm strike in the chest and the shoulders. So just like this. And what we're doing is we're using force. We can do it another way. There are two ways of doing this. We can just use force where they don't feel much impact and they go back a lot. Or we can do it a different way. They don't move so much, but they feel the impact. There's more internal trauma. And the difference is the amount of rapid deceleration. Force is mass multiplied by acceleration, but when I make contact, if it takes me a long time to come to a full stop, it's more like a push. However, if upon impact there is rapid deceleration, well then more internal trauma is felt. You don't move so much, they're going to feel it more inside. So that's just a little thing. And regardless of which way we use, we can amplify this force by adding in our feet. And we previously looked at the advancing step from advancing stance. I don't step to Michal, I step through Michal. And now when I'm doing this step, I'm using the hands as well. And when I make impact, I'm going to make contact either before my foot lands on the ground or at the same time as my foot lands on the ground. It means that when I make impact, there's more acceleration, and according to Newton and the second law of motion, the more acceleration you have, the more force you have. So from here, we can do it like that, or we can use more impact force. Now I know there's a physical difference between myself and Michal, but the same rule applies, ceteris paribus. The same rule applies when Michal comes in to do it to me. Again, the stability is there, the mass is there, the acceleration, rapid deceleration is there. And just as a matter of interest, one of my students was in a situation where he was obliged to use this. It wasn't appropriate for him to hit or to hurt the other person, so he just took a big step, gave the person a push back, and then the fight was broken up. It was all due to a misunderstanding. But again, he didn't need to really cause the other person harm. So he used appropriate use of force, and that was a real life situation with one of my students. And then when we do this and we, let's say, push the person back, for example, either we've stood up for themselves, they get the message to leave you alone, or if they then do come back in, then we've given them the benefit of the doubt, and now we can just go back down to attacking our attacker. And that's really it, guys. So we looked at, like I said, the last video, the fight has started, someone's outside your personal space, you attack them as they come in. What we did today was, somebody was inside your personal space, there was ambiguity as to whether the fight was on or not, so we just established our physical boundaries, maintained it, and then we can go back down to attacking our attacker. What we do in the next video is the fight is on, but somebody isn't inside or outside your personal space. They're just there in the boundaries, just kind of hovering, bobbing, weaving, feinting. And we'll just look at some options of that on the next video. Thanks guys. Thanks Michal.